Oh snap, Glaze is going live.
Hey, good day, good day, good day, good day, good day. Thank you for joining me. Hey, just in case you're joining me for the very first time, I'm your host, the one they call Brian Glaze Gibbs. And this is my channel, this is my platform, this is my ministry. What I do is I talk about the good, I talk about the bad, I talk about the ugly. What I try to do is I try to dig deep and share some of my life experiences, some of the things that me and others that I've been a part of, what we've been through, and hoping that the words that come out of my mouth can register and hit somebody's heart, their mind, their spirit, and stop them in their track, and stop them from going down that wrong road. Stop them from picking up that brick, throwing at that prison wall for absolutely nothing. Today, what I'm gonna talk about is this, man. I'm gonna talk about two, you know what I'm saying, people that are no friends. May they so rest in peace and their spirit be lifted. And the crazy part about it, most of the people that I talk about, guess what? They're the dead. Okay, they in the graveyard. Or they in the penitentiary. Folks, look at that. They either in the graveyard from a violent death, or they in the penitentiary for crime. And what I'm trying to do is get people to understand that it's not worth it. It doesn't pay. I don't care what anybody say. A lot of times when you're young, you're dumb, and you're undereducated, and some of us was educated. Some of these guys was very highly educated, but yet and still they got caught up into that fast street life, and they fell in love with the street light camera action and that fast dollar and all what money can represent. And people do not understand right now, all money is not good money. So with that being said, I'm gonna talk about my man, the late Lanny Dillard, may his soul rest in peace, LD, and Eric Steele, aka Tweety. Like I said right now, is with these individuals right now, like their death coincide with one another. Young man, young, smart, good guys. But the difference is right now was, had they been brought up in a whole totally different environment opposed to the urban, the concrete jungle, New York City, you know what? Guess what? Their life could have been totally, totally different. Okay, to me, like I say, I'm gonna talk about Eric Steele, aka Tweety, and Lanny Dillard, aka them saying LD. These guys, they didn't have to die. And even right now, guess what? Let me rephrase that. We all gonna die. We all gonna die. But yet and still, their destiny didn't have to, they both didn't have to be gunned down. They both didn't have to be gunned down in the streets of New York City. Right now, that could have been prevented. How? How can it be prevented? You know what? Let's go back. Okay, at one point in time, my name is Brian Glaze Gibbs. And at one point in time, I was a snotty-nosed kid, okay? Was I a tough guy? No, I wasn't a tough guy. I used to be a church boy. I used to be going to Boy Scout. I used to sing in the choir. I used to be on an usher board. Yet and still right now is growing up in the Bedford-Stuyvesant section, back and forth through South Carolina, and, you know, coming back to New York. See, one thing I love about New York as a kid, growing up in New York, what I learned, diversity. People are people. So right now, you'll grow up into that. When you grow up, you in that melting pot. In the melting pot, you grow up with every nationality. So race was an issue. People was people. You had good people and bad people of every nationality. So, but I was afforded the opportunity each and every year during the summertime. I used to go down to South Carolina. And even right now, when I was down in South Carolina taught me mannerism. And that's the first time I experienced any type of racism, when I was down in South Carolina. So I, to me, had the best of both worlds. And sometimes I wish I would have stayed and lived in South Carolina, because I felt if I would stay and live in South Carolina, went to school, went to trade school, right now is I would never have became Brian Glaze Gibbs, a career criminal. Okay, so to say all that, to say this is, to me, I got two friends, Lanny and Tweety. And basically right now is what happened. We all got caught up into that street life, the drug, fast money. So even with that being said, you know, I became, you know, a drug dealer. At one point in time, I used to hate anything had to do with drugs, because I used to see the impact as a kid, what drug did to people. But anyway, right now is, guess what? When you get caught up and you start doing robberies and doing stupid things at a young age, and you come out and you got 4 felony, who gonna give you a job? What corporation gonna give a career criminal a job? So you know what? Guess what? You try and you get a job and you make a minimum wages. Is minimum wages gonna make it work? You know what? Yes, it can. But the difference is right now, you just can't have one minimum wage job. You gotta have a couple minimum wage jobs until you can work your way up. You know, punching that clock, proving to your supervisor, your manager, the owner of the company that you're worthy. You know, you're worthy from moving up from being a porter to being, you know, something else in the facility, to being into management, to being into sales. You got to prove yourself, because guess what? You got a hole that you got to dig out of. So anyway, right now is I had 4 felonies. By the time I was 17, you know what I'm saying, 18, I already had 4 felony conviction. So my next felony could have got me life. Okay, whether I went in the store and stole $500 worth of meat, guess what? That's life. So today I got into the drug game. All right, got into poisoning my community, got into, you know, directly and indirectly, you know, killing people. And you know what happened? During November 88, I got picked up. You know what I'm saying? November 10th, 1988, and I went to jail. Okay, when I went to jail, guess what? I was facing 21 USC 841, 846, and 848. 848, continual criminal enterprise, kingpin charge. When you have 5 or more people that you manage, organize, and you had them doing things, and you made X amount of money. So long story short, I made a deal. Okay, during that period of time, I made a deal. My mother died. My whole life was upside down. And right now is, once I made that deal, I back away from that stuff. I back away from that stuff. Okay, I back away from everything. I put my past behind me, because once again, I want to go home. And when I got home, I became a law-abiding citizen, and I got away from the street. So during that period of time, when I came home, things were still going on. And I had a crew. My crew name was EMINEM, Money and Murder. I had, you know, several individuals that stopped, took them. They was going uptown, snatching, robbing, stealing, you know, innocent people to make money. But I put them down with me. And what we was doing is hustling, selling drugs in different territory. And guess what? I named my crew Money and Murder, because once again, you know, we made money, and if something had to be taken care of, guess what? They went out there and they took care of it. So long story short, when I caught that case and I got picked up and with Lorenzo Fat Cat Nichols and all those guys back in 88, and I went to jail, my crew was left behind with 2 individuals, okay? One of the individual happened to be, you know, my brother, okay? Right now is, he was a part of me. Why he was a part of me? Because once again, I blew up when I went to Queens. I blew up when I went to Queens. And when I blew up when I went to Queens, I was making so much money, and I had the connection through Lorenzo Fat Cat Nichols. So the difference is, I had a hell of a crew. So when my brother came home from Sing Sing, you know what? And March at 88, you know what I'm saying? Him and his partner got down with me. Him and his partner, they never saw, you know, all like, you know, saying like buying kilos of anything. Right now, I had to hook up through Cat with the heroin, with the cocaine, and was getting kilos. And you know what? When I went to jail, they inherit my operation. They inherit my guys, the EMINEM crew, people that I built, okay? Had them following me all behind the wrong reason. But when I went to jail, you know what? My brother and his partner D, they took over, okay? So automatically right now, they had a hell of a crew. So what happened was, as time went on, I'm the founding father of EMINEM, okay? I'm in jail. I made a deal. I'm a witness, okay? They inherit my crew. So what happened is, as time went on, these guys was loyal. They was younger. They was dedicated. And, you know, most of them is dead. May they soul rest in peace and their spirit be lifted. But anyway, long story short, during 1992, my late mother, Dorothy Gibbs, she died, okay? When my mother died, you know, My brother at the time was married, 2 kids. His game plan was, because remorse. People don't understand when you're in pain, sorrow, cause you to make decisions. The decision that he made the decision that he didn't want to do nothing. He didn't have nothing to do with the street no more. So he called himself retired. So what I did was, being that he called himself he's retiring and he wanted to move to South Carolina. At that time, when he moved to South Carolina, guess what? My sister, okay, right now was living in my mother's house. My mother had, right now, right now, okay, and I'm not taking no credit for nobody. My brother put down like a $5,000 deposit, went to jail. I pay off the house, okay? Here it is right now. You hear something different from him. It don't make me no different. It was her house. That was the different. We got her little baby mansion built. She had a house. Anyway, when she died, I told my sister at the time, listen, he's married and he got 2 kids. It's only you. Let him get the house. He got a house, free and clear. Got a house. Saying he retired. He stepped off from the game. Okay, cool. And I accepted that. Came down there, opened up a business. Opened up a clothing, sneaker store. Was doing good. Okay? Was doing great for himself. And what happened? Okay? The guys, my guys, that used to be, part of me, was now, being that he's supposed to have stepped off, he gave them, or he left them with Darryl Tyler. Everybody got different, leader, skills, ability. Some people more loyal to others than they are to themselves. So long story short, when he called himself, quote unquote, retire and moved from New York and went to South Carolina, Darryl Tyler was responsible for the EMINEM crew. Okay, Money and Murder, my old crew. So what happened is, as time went on, Darryl Tyler used to tell these guys, listen, I'm about to give this up. I'm about to retire, and y'all guys can take over. So time was going on. As time went on, he was telling them, oh, I can't pay y'all, for this week or this period of time because I got to take care of something for my partner, for Cool, which was a lie. Okay? So he told him that one time too many. So here it is, my man, may his soul rest in peace, Junior Wilson, my man, Beaver, may his soul rest in peace. And right now, Little Rich was associate. Little Rich, they all went and they met with Cool in New York. And when they went to meet with Cool in New York, they started telling him, listen, man, we got a problem. The problem is this, man. D keep BSing us. He keep lying to us. We making all this money, but he's telling us that sometimes we can't get paid because he got to take care of something for you. Or he got to do this, he got to do this. He keep lying to us, telling us he about to leave. He about to step off. He about to retire. And right now is, guess what? We run out of patience. So they went to my brother and they asked him for permission. We want to kill Darryl Tyler. We want to knock his head off. Now, sit back and think about it. These guys, I know them. They are trained killers. And they want to kill him. But here it is, my brother, okay? What he did was, nah, y'all can't do that, man. Y'all can't kill D. Because if y'all kill D, y'all got to kill me. So they looking at it like, oh, come on, man. Like, listen, man, this dude, he BSing us. He doing everything that he want to do, and he living his best life, and we protecting him. And guess what? He's not paying us, but yet and still he paying and taking care of all these other girls that he's dealing with, but he's not giving us a dime. And he lie and say he giving you stuff when he's not giving you stuff. No, we want to take care of him. So Cool said, listen, man, give him time. Don't kill him. Because if you kill him, you got to get me first. So they looking at him. And most of them, they grew up in the East New York Cypress Hill Project. These from Kingsborough. So their loyalty was more to me, to him, than to anyone else. So what they did was, they took his advice, and they didn't kill D. So what happened, one of the individual that was there, so that meeting's supposed to stay between, Cool, Junior Wilson, Beaver, Rich. It's supposed to stay in between them. But for some reason, one of them went back and told D, yo, we had the meeting. We had the meeting with Cool. And right now is, everybody voted. They asked him for permission to kill you. But he say no. So what happened was Dean Cool used to be like this. Darryl, Tyler, and James Gibbs used to be like this. And what happened when Cool, how can I say that? He refrained for telling D that these guys, conspired to kill him. That blew D mind. Cause D's saying like, you like a brother to me, man. We're like best friends. How in the heck you can let these guys talk about killing me and you don't tell me? You got somebody else come back and tell me. So D felt slighted. He felt pissed off. He felt betrayed. So what he wound up doing is this. Like, and to James' defense, what James say, listen, man, okay, I squash it. Okay, I squash it. They wasn't gonna do nothing to you, and I didn't want to tell you, because if I tell you, what you want to do is pay somebody to hit them. And no, these are like our little brothers. These are Glaze crew. This is EMINEM. You can't do that. So what I did was I squashed it and left it as that. Bingo. What happened next? Cool and D relationship was never the same. They was never the same. Because D felt betrayal. You know what I'm saying? He felt Cool should have told him. So what happened was, as time went on, their relationship got deteriorated. Okay? Now, Cool had a store. Montgomery, South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina. Okay? Cool is a gambler. Every time, like I said right now, was he went down, he lost big, he went to D for help. Yo, man, I'm behind on my bills, man. Things are not right, man. I'm about to leave my store. So when he went to D for help, D wouldn't give him help. D was not giving him any money. Because in his heart and his mind, listen, man, you was going to let these dudes, kill me. But he didn't look at it. He took it wrong. It's not like Cool was going to let these dudes kill him. He stopped it. He told them, listen, they can't do it. But D still took it personal. So what wound up happening? This is what wound up happening. Okay? A few years later, a few of these guys, they was watching the movie, Kati, on HBO. They was watching that movie. And they watched how Kati and them hit Paul Castellano and how Kati and them took over. So now, after watching Kati movie over and over and over again, they decided time is now. They're going to get D out of here. So what they did was, they was in Baltimore at the time. And they had everything going on in Baltimore. So what they did was, they plotted. Okay? They knew what D was going at. And what they did was, they sent the hit. And the guy went there, shot D up. And you know what? D got shot. D went to the hospital. Here it is. The doctor pronounced him dead. The doctor, they pronounced him dead. So one of the guys called D family saying, listen, this is what's going on. Don't worry about it. Everybody's bills still going to be taken care of. Everybody's still going to be all right, despite D's no longer here. Okay? A miracle happened. D did not die. D bounced back. It wasn't his time. D bounced back. So when D bounced back, guess what? They stopped going around. So being they stopped coming to see him, coming around him, he put two and two together. What he put together was, at one point in time, these guys went to Cool and asked for permission to kill me. Okay? Now, a few years later, I got hit. These guys don't come back around. So now, he's not the smartest, he's not the dumbest, but he just put two and two together that they was responsible for the hit. Okay, long story short, as time went on, you know what? Now it became like a war. That's when right now, my brother Cool was in Fort Greene, and the guy Sharif stuck him up for a Rolex watch and his jewelry in Fort Greene as he was at the payphone. Okay, now, time went on. Every time Eric Steele, Tweety, cool dude. Tweety was just good people, man. He wasn't about that stupid stuff, but in the same token, D his brother. Every time he used to see these guys at the skating ring, okay, out to parties, he used to see him and he used to tell him, y'all guys try to kill my brother. I'm gonna get y'all. And for some reason, okay, just because you grew up in a geographical area, sometimes you can be guilt by association. So for some reason, they thought they thought Lanny was behind that. Lanny was not behind that. Lanny is a highly intelligent individual. Lanny's strictly business. Lanny ain't about that violence unless he had to be. But just so happened, D just felt that Lanny was the brain behind that. So he told Tweety, his brother, and everybody else that Lanny was behind it. Lanny wasn't behind it. But that's what he thought. He felt he was the brain behind the operation. So what he did is he put the hit out. He paid somebody, basically right now, to kill Lanny. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read from this article. Okay, a dope smuggling, midget, and hip hop aesthetic called Squirrel could decide the fate of an alleged drug kingpin in a bizarre case in Brooklyn court. The characters are part of the family of alleged drug boss Darryl D. Nice Tyler. Investigators say money from Tyler's massive drug operation allow his gang to buy a luxury car and heaps of flashy jewelry. But their extravagant lifestyle began to unravel the night of November 16, 1998, when Tyler, half-brother Eric Tweety Steele, was gunned down in a drug gang turf war. Okay? Folks, 6 weeks later, a rival dealer, Lanny L.D. Dillard, a reputed bodyguard for boxer Mike Tyson, was shot to death on the Upper West Side sidewalk as he left a party honoring female rapper Foxy Brown. Folks, now, when Tweety got killed, I can remember talking to D, extending my condolences, and even word on the street was because that crew, was from East New York. So I just came home. I came home in 97. Tweety got killed in 98. And when he got killed, everybody just assumed. Everybody assumed, well, I had something to do with it. I just came home. I want to take over again. Folks, listen. That is not the case. When I came home, I quit. When I made a deal, it was it. I didn't want no part of that life no more. I became a law-abiding citizen. You know what? I didn't have nothing to do with that. But people just assumed because of the East New York tie. And they felt who gonna give order. And that wasn't the case. So even with that being said, that's the same thing that happened with my brother. You know what I'm saying? Him and D still was cool. Basically right now, he extends condolences for the loss of Tweety. One thing led to another. And right now is, guess what? I just know several weeks later when L got killed, that was messed up. Because once again, L died when he didn't have to die. Because once again, D felt that he was responsible for Tweety getting shot, Tweety getting killed. And guess what? LD was not responsible for it. And that's the difference. Folks, listen, what everybody got to understand is this, man. A lot of times we want that life. We want to be about that life. But we're really not about that life, man. What I'm saying is this. Look what happened. That street life. Look what happened. People change. People turn on each other. Okay? Now, because of that incident, D, they told D. The feds went to D and said, listen, let us handle it. Let us do our investigation. We're going to take care of everything. Don't do anything. But when he went out there and put a hit out on Lanny Dillard, okay, a hit, from my understanding, that, guess what? Who financed a hit? Who put a hit on layaway? That, from my understanding, he still didn't pay these guys fully for doing that hit. But anyway, when you look at it, my brother and D relationship deteriorate behind that. And that's why when D caught that case, when he got arrested for that case, guess what? Him and my brother used to be like this. They used to be like this. If you hear D, you hear cool. You hear cool, you hear D. And the difference was the feds, the state, they make cool a hell of a proposition. Listen, okay? We getting all type of information. You got two choices, okay? You can even come and talk to us, okay? Or when we come and see you, we're going to slap that jury, that handcuff on you, and you're going to be part of this case. You're going to be part of the indictment. So James Gibbs, what he did, he drew all the way from Monscona, South Carolina to Brooklyn, Eastern District, you know what I'm saying, office and talked. He got there in the wee hours, calling me. I don't know what to do. I don't know. Listen, man, you going I-95 south. You going I-95 north. If I were you and you don't want to do it, take that car, go I-95 north. Go backwards. No, you went up there. You sat down and you talked to the feds. You talked to the state. It's not your first time. That's why you was not a part of the investigation. That's why you didn't get indicted. Because what you did is you sat down with them and you let them know that, guess what, man? You know, you left New York in 1992. They got records of that. They got record that you did leave. But in the same token, they know that you was a part of that organization. So here it is, by you sitting down, coming clean with them. What did you tell them? You said, listen, I want a new identity like my brother. I want, you know, right now y'all to pay off a house. Then you want them to pay off a house that was already paid for, that you refinanced twice and that you burned down twice. Then you want them to provide, you know what I'm saying, a fence with cameras. And what they told you, thank you for your cooperation. They gave you a tap on your head. They didn't even reimburse you for gas. What part of the game was that, man? So what I'm just trying to say, folks, listen. Tweety and L, they didn't supposed to die. They should not have ended up that way. The difference is, look what happened. All us at one point in time used to be like this. But what happened? What came in between us? The street, money, drug, woman. Look how many life been destroyed. Okay? Look how many friendship were destroyed. Look how many brotherhood were destroyed. For what, folks? Listen, take it from somebody that know. Crime doesn't pay. My name is Brian Glaze Gibbs, and this is my ministry. What I talk about the good, I talk about the bad, I talk about the ugly. Listen, you see this? Get your signed copy of the Beyond Lucky, the Brian Glaze Gibbs story, a true story of crack, money, murder, and redemption. Email me for your signed copy. Brian, B-R-I-A-N, Gibbs, G-I-B-B-S, 1201 at yahoo.com. Get your signed copy, and I will throw in Straight from the Street audiobook volume 1 or Straight from the Street audiobook volume 2. It go deep. It speak about every character in this book. I speak about a lot of things. This is the blueprint that will stop your kids, your grandkids, your great-great-grandkids, your niece, your nephew, your neighbor. It will stop them from picking up that brick, throwing it at that prison wall for absolutely nothing, folks. Listen, Tweety didn't have to die that way. LD didn't have to die that way. Greed, deceitfulness, that bootleg attitude. Come on, folks. Imagine if all of us would have got together as one to stop that nonsense. If all of us would have got together at one and started a cleaning company, started a security company, started, some type of form of business, like a chauffeur company, anything, guess what would happen? None of us went to jail. You know what? We all would have been living comfortably. Listen, folks, it's just no shortcut in life. There's no easy way in life. Hit that like button, subscribe. You know what? Check out my YouTube channel, Brian Glaze Gibbs. Hit the like button, subscribe. Check out my IG. This is my ministry. I'm going to talk about the good. I'm going to talk about the bad. I'm going to talk about the ugly. I don't try to blow things out of context. I don't try to make myself seem that I'm more important than what I am. Because what I am who I am. All of us, at one point in time, we was brought up in a concrete jungle. All of us were traumatized. And we went astray. Folks, mental illness is real. Get the help that you need before it's too late. Get the help that you need. Stop destroying our life. Stop putting our own foot and our own knee on our own neck. Start how to love one another. Take the time. In order to love anybody else, I used to hate me. I love me now because I got help. I got help. I got help. And guess what? It's never too late to change, because change comes from within. Hit that like button, subscribe. Brian Glaze Gibbs. Peace, love, and prosperity. One love. Look, man, look at time, look at time, look at time, look at time, look at time. This was once my mother's home. Look at it now, folks. A beautiful home. How can you lose a beautiful home to come on, man. You destroy a home like that, man. A beautiful home and all the property, you lost it. Losing property, for what, man? What was the purpose of losing the property? What good to have if you don't got nobody to share it with it? You can't keep it. It's like worthless. Having property that you cannot keep. You know, you got something free and clear, but you cannot keep it. Why? What the heck is this, man? Man, this stuff used to be beautiful. Look at it now. Look at it now. You had all that stuff and you just lost it. Why? Greed. Money is the root of all evil. Money is the root of all evil, folks. That's what you got to remember.
Especially athletes, right? So athletes always want to be buff and they want to make sure they have a lot of energy and they want to run, blah, blah, blah. Panoxol was good for them, and that's how it all started. You know, it started with the men that had erectile dysfunction. It started with the guys who wanted to run and buff up. So the whole industry was surrounded with that, but they called it something else. There's a lot of names for it. And then some brilliant scientist says, wow, God, if we can do nitric oxide for those things, then why can't we do it for heart? Why can't we do it for the liver? Why can't we do it for blood flow? Why can't we do it for the vessels in the brain? Why can't we do it for the vessels in the legs? You see what I'm saying? So it's a really good whole body supplement. Thing that you always want to, because I said it's a driver, the most profound thing that I found in using this is allowing a person to realize that it opens up the doorway to perfect health. And the reason why it does that is because it's the first thing you need, and the second thing you need is nutrients. So if it's a door opener, you have a very good chance of getting a better health and longevity. And that's the key to life. Oxygen.